The thing is, when you chase status, is that you can have 1 million subscribers, you could be rich, but it's like, there's still someone who has 50 million subscribers. There's always gonna be someone above you.
Oh, yeah.
And in order to win with these status games, someone else has to lose.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's Brett Maverick here. I hope you all are having an awesome day so far. Real quick, if you like what you see here, I'd really appreciate it if you pull out your phone and follow me on Instagram at BrettMVRK. I put a lot of really cool stuff on there you won't find anywhere else. So some of you may remember that a few months ago, I made a video where I asked my most successful, richest friends their #1 tip. But what you guys don't know is that I also asked them their biggest failure in the same interview.
Surprise, motherfucker.
So I thought I'd make a little video where I reveal all of their answers. I think there's some really good responses and some things that you can definitely learn from, and I think you guys will actually really value moving on in your lives. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so we have on the phone the man, the myth, the legend, Jose Zuniga, owner of the YouTube channel Teachingmensfashion. This guy's 25 years old, has nearly 5 million subscribers, multiple companies. How you doing, man?
Bro, thank you for having me. I appreciate you, and thank you for that intro, bro.
All right, the next thing I wanted to know is, what is your biggest failure that you've experienced so far in your career, and what's something you learned from that?
Bro, I was a little kid. So when I started the channel, or when I started all of it, I was 17 at the time, something like that. My dream was always to have a company, like an actual corporation, not necessarily YouTube. My idea was never to be a big YouTuber. My idea was to have a big company, or a company, right? So I established, at that time, since I was already in the style industry, I did a custom menswear brand. This is at the time where suits were like raging and stuff like that, right? So it was custom suits, custom shirts, all this stuff. I was 18, incorporated the business, so it was my first company. I was a CEO of a company. I felt like the big shot. Long story short, there's a lot of complexities that come about when you're running a business that obviously you learn along the way. I ended up just like running my business into debt. My personal credit cards were maxed out to like $7 grand.
Oh, wow.
As an 18-year-old.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Low income too, because my parents didn't have money. Like my parents were just, they were immigrants. My dad was a landscaper. My mom she would clean homes. So I couldn't just go to them and be like, yo, mom, I got $7K in debt. Can you pay this off? They would have nowhere to go, type of thing. And then I had pulled credit cards in the business's name as well, and those were maxed about 7. So I was in the hole for about like 14, 15K. Yeah.
And that's a lot for an 18-year-old.
For an 18-year-old.
That's a lot for me, man.
I felt like I was choking, bro. It got to a point that I really, really believed that like I was just wasting my time. And it was crazy because when you're 18 and I was starting to go into college, all you see is your friends just living their normal life, right? You're dating, you're partying. That's your worries when you're 18.
Yeah.
My worry was, how do I get out of this hole that I dug myself into, right? How can I build this business up? And it got to the point that, and I'm sure a lot of people that have or trying to achieve something great will probably face this as well, that you start like thinking in your head, is it even worth it? Why am I doing this to myself?
Oh, yeah.
Why can't I just throw it all out and be a regular Joe? But that's the path that we chose, right?
Yeah.
Even to this day, 25, thankfully we've been able to scale, multiple business into the million mark or multiple millions mark. Even to this day, I sit in that position sometimes. I'm like, what next? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Why can't I just live the status quo? Right?
Yeah.
And I always call that like that little nagging voice in your head. I think we all have it. I think it's almost like a defense mechanism our brain has to keep us comfortable. It happens in the gym too, right? You're running 3 miles, that voice is in your head, like, why are you doing this to yourself? Yo, stop, walk, calm down.
Yeah.
Right? It's hurting, it's uncomfortable. It happens in life. You get that same voice. But I think once you can, and that's what I learned there. And I think because of that life experience is what I learned about the whole consistency thing. Because it got to a point where I was just like, yo, I'm gonna quit.
So you're going into business for finance, right?
Yeah, you wanna start from there?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. By the way, the memory card maxed out, so we're restarting. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna start. So I'm going into business for finance. I'm thinking, I'm just gonna go into business for finance, follow that route.
Yeah.
At night, when I was really just like I really wanted to quit, getting that voice in my head, like, yo, stop. I always chalk it up to God. Like God really like spoke to me that night and said like one more time. And it's crazy that one more time was the flipping switch for me.
That's
right?
all it took.
I was able to kind of figure out more of the business on YouTube, figure out how to monetize that. I was able to pay my debt, and then the rest is history, right? I was able to scale the YouTube, scale businesses and all that other stuff. But the point was that I could have quit that night, right? The fact that you just stayed consistent. I got up the next day and did it again.
Yeah.
Again and again, you know?
Yeah.
Again, consistency is just so important, you know? Keep pushing. Even though you feel your friends are going to mock you, probably. Your family's going to tell you that you're wasting your time, right? You yourself are going to start thinking this is a waste of time. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, keep going.
Yeah.
If that's what you really want, keep pushing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just forget what everyone else says and just embrace the ups and downs because they're going to happen.
They're going to happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how large you get, you're still going to get ups and downs.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. And look at all you have to show for it now. It's incredible.
Blessing, man. I've just been blessed tremendously.
All right, real quick, before we move on, I wanted to share with you guys my biggest mistake so far. So I don't have my own clothing line like Jose, and I don't have a hair product company or anything like that, but one simple mistake that made a huge negative impact on me was I ruined my credit at a young age. Just by not paying off my bills on time and not paying rent on time, it actually really hurt my credit to the point where when I wanted to buy a new car, I didn't get approved for the auto loan that I wanted, and I had to pay a lot more money out of pocket than I actually wanted to. But luckily, that's not gonna happen to you guys thanks to the sponsor of today's video over at Upstart. Upstart is the fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off all your debts, and it's all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest rate, or paying for personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple fixed monthly payment. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners by analyzing more than just your credit score. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rates up front from loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day and receive funds in as little as 1 business day. That's really dang fast. If debt was kind of messing up your life like it was to me, then it's time to start fresh with Upstart. I wish I had something like Upstart when I was trying to get that loan for my car, but unfortunately I was stuck making a huge down payment. Find out how Upstart can help lower your monthly payment by going to upstart.com/Brett right now. That's upstart.com/Brett. Don't forget to use the URL to make sure that they know that I sent you guys over there. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application, like employment history that enables Upstart to expand people's access to credit beyond just your credit score or creditworthiness. All right, guys, so the next guest we have is the man, the myth, the legend, Based Zeus, his manager. Thanks for coming on the show. So this is Benjamin Seda. He's a good friend of mine, and he's one of the guys behind Based Zeus, the YouTube channel with 1.5 million subscribers, multiple super successful courses on texting, dating, all this sorts of stuff. This guy is responsible for getting hundreds of thousands of men laid. So thank you for coming on, man. How you doing? And then just one more thing before you go. I was wondering, what is your biggest failure to date, or your biggest learning experience, or maybe they're the same thing. A lot of times they go hand in hand. Is there something like that that you can share? Maybe something you had to overcome, or pick yourself up from?
Yeah. So early on, I think it's just part of being a young dude, especially in the sort of like self-development dating space. I maximized a lot for status and ego early on. I was doing, honestly, all of my goals, my financial goals, my business goals were motivated by ego or status, prestige. I wanted to be seen as cool and successful, and just always maximizing for status. Not only does it hurt the business, because then you're maximizing for your own ego and your this idea of yourself, because that becomes the first thing, and then the business and your happiness and your emotional and spiritual well-being ends up taking the back seat to that. So it's like, at what cost are you willing to boost your ego? So just pursuing things from a much more healthier place, as opposed to always trying to maximize my ego. Because the thing is, when you chase status, is that you can have 1 million subscribers, you could be rich, but it's like there's still someone who has 50 million subscribers or 20 million. There's there's always gonna be someone above you.
Oh yeah.
And in order to win with these status games, someone else has to lose. It's not like when you're, starting a business or making money. You're making videos with your own unique perspective. They're really similar to mine, but it's your unique perspective, and so am I. So we're not really competing with it. You don't have to lose in order for me to gain. We can both gain equally. It's a sort of everybody can win. Everybody gets their own pie, as opposed to the sort of winner take all mentality that comes with the ego and status games. And just focusing on doing that as little as possible. I think that was the biggest failure for me personally, because it really hurt my happiness. Even when I was really successful, I made all the money I wanted, I got everything I wanted, I still was not happy at all. And it was because of just pursuing ego in these status games.
I can relate absolutely to that. Me coming from a small town, the only YouTuber, I felt like a god, and then coming out here and I'm nobody. Literally, you guys might think I'm the man, but I'm not out here, and there's always gonna be someone bigger. The Ryan's Toys reviews out there, some 11-year-old making $20 million a year, so it's not even worth comparing yourself, because comparison is the thief of joy. So once you realize you don't have to do that, it's quite the awakening.
Comparison is the poison that fuels the ego game. That's what they say. So
absolutely, it's definitely true. So sooner you can get over that, the better. That's freedom.
I agree, man.
Cool.
I agree. That's the real freedom.
All right, guys. So next up, we have one of my favorite people, Mr. Alex Costa. Alex was one of the first people I met, or one of my first friends when I moved out to LA. Awesome dude. 2.8 million subscribers. He's got his own hair product, Forte. This dude is making moves and he's super successful. Congrats for all your success.
Thank you, man.
And the people want to know, what is your biggest failure that you've experienced so far in your career, or just your biggest learning experience? Or maybe they go hand in hand. A lot of times they do.
Yeah, I've been really lucky with my career and my businesses, that I haven't failed with them yet. And I say yet because everyone fails, and that's completely normal. I'm starting a whole slew of businesses next year in 2021, and who knows? Are they all going to be successful? Probably not. Who knows? So I think it's very normal to fail. I don't think people should be discouraged, because if you think that you might fail at some point, then you're not going to give it your best. You're just going to kind of like limit yourself, so I wouldn't do that. So hopefully I won't fail, but who knows? I think my biggest failure up to date, though, wasn't career related. It was when I was like 13, I studied really hard to get into this military school in Brazil, and they only had 60 spots, and they had like 3,000 kids. And I studied really hard in 4th grade, and I failed to get in. I was like number 84 or something. I was like just a little off. So then I did it again the next year, and I studied so hard. Like, I literally was a nerd for a year and a half. And I got in, and I was like number 14 out of all the 60 kids. So I finally got in, but it was like, I got heartbroken when I was like 13 years old, like studied really hard. Didn't get into the school that my mom really wanted me to get into, and I just remember my mom crying, and I cried when I didn't get in. So I think that really helped me grow as a kid. I was 13 or 14, dude. I was so young, and going through that failure and like crying about not getting into the school just really matured me in a way that I didn't really understand at that time. Yeah,
kind of a little wake-up call for you, I guess. What
really
could be to come?
Especially because I saw some of my best friends getting into that school. A lot of them didn't get in, which it was really tough to get in. But I just saw my friends some of them getting in, and I was like, man, like, why am I not going to be studying with some of my best friends now just because I didn't study hard enough? I'm not going to let that happen,
Okay, so you kind of, what you learned was just that if you want something, you have to really just go all out.
Really go all out, because otherwise you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, my biggest venture in life so far has been YouTube, and you can't just half-ass this stuff. You got to kick the door down, 2 guns up, shoot everything that moves. So
exactly, man. That's the way to go.
I still have to relearn that sometimes when I just get in these like.
We all do. Like it's it's for sure you forget about it sometimes, and then you have those bad videos or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, well I
gotta get this back up.
Yeah.
I gotta really bring in the heat here.
Yeah, when you take your foot off the gas and, you know, you get what you deserve, you
Exactly.
know? So, I agree with you on that, man, 100%. They can just find you at Alex Costa on pretty much everything, right?
Coronavirus.
Yeah. No, it's Alex Costa on pretty much everything, right? YouTube,
Yes, it's
Instagram,
at
all that.
Alex Costa for pretty
Yeah,
much
so
everything.
awesome.
Thank
Thanks for coming on, man. Hope
Thank
to
you,
see
man.
you soon, and yeah, happy to have this guy as a friend.
All right,
He's a good
let's
lad.
take it soon.
All right, I'll shut this thing off.